BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions, and on the list of videos I could have really made in like a day, but I got way too much inside of my head and didn't bother to do it. But on the topic of Big Bang Theory, I never liked how Raj was the only main character in the group not to have a love interest in any way or form, especially given that he had ultimately tried until the end, and even then they robbed him of one, which made no sense. This video was supposed to come out on Asian American Heritage Month, but screw it. Better late than never. Comment which love interest you think Raj should have ended up with below, and let's just get started with the list. In last place is Deaf Emily. She kind of used him. Conceptually, this relationship could have worked. I mean, she's deaf and he suffers from selective mutism, and since she couldn't hear, it helped him open up and relax. Unfortunately, she ended up taking advantage of his wealth, and by his wealth, I mean his parents' wealth, by manipulating him into paying off her credit card bills, buying her jewelry, and a lease for a new car. The moment he got caught up financially, Emily lost all interest in him. While there are definitely women like this in the real world, she's easily the worst relationship Raj could have ended up with, and that's why it makes the bottom of my list. Still surprised she came back in that whole Raj's ex is special. Then there's Lucy, who from what I saw messed up in the relationship the most. Now, I get why this relationship failed, but honestly, this could have worked. Yes, they were both insecure, but they had similar hobbies, social disorders, and the thing is that most people give Raj flack for screwing up a lot of his relationships. This one I don't think was his fault. She escaped through the bathroom window on their first date, and he was left heartbroken so bad, and breaking up with someone over text is horrible. Now, the question becomes, did Raj force her out of her comfort zone too much? I don't think so. He tried his best to accommodate Lucy, set up a safe space for her, told her about this ahead of time, and even tried to have them work through their issues together. And Lucy still couldn't handle it and left. I'm not saying that Lucy's entirely wrong for what she did, but Raj was trying to guide her through the steps, and it felt like she just chose to run back down. They had so much potential and chemistry, but are second to last because I don't see the relationship working out in the long run, especially when one partner is willing to try while the other one doesn't. Next up might be a little bit of a weird sneak, but Lalita is 6 for me. This relationship had some potential. Like, Raj and Lalita were set up on a blind date by their parents, but he screwed it over because he felt he would only have the courage to go on a date after a few sips of alcohol, and it turned her off when he got too tipsy. Heck, Raj and her families knew and grew up together, finding themselves in the same overpriced landmark of California. Plus, both of them have had issues growing up, and at least she was willing to give him a chance, which, given how popular the reformed bully turned love interest is, there was definitely some potential there, which I think should have been addressed in some way or form. But remember, this happened back in season 1, where they were still trying to figure things out. So, in the present day, it's possible this could have been a storyline, but because it wasn't, for now, it's just a what if on this list. Next up is Elizabeth Plimpton. So Elizabeth Plimpton might be a bit of a sneak given how sexually active she can be, and was willing to have a foursome with everyone in the male part of the friend group barring Sheldon. Raj didn't want to do it with the guys and got them to leave, but he immediately locks the door behind him and accepts Dr. Plimpton's advances. And here's the thing, I actually think this relationship could work. While yeah, she studies physical cosmology, she could have probably helped Raj deal with his selective mutism and alcoholism, or use the fact that she's sex positive to explore how intimacy can help someone like him open up and combat his mutism without being drunk. And both of them are interested in both cosplay and roleplay, something that could actually make him more comfortable with women if he had a partner like that engaged in his interests. And he wasn't drunk at the time either, as far as I remember. Their relationship could potentially be more open given how active she comes across, but if she locked down or locked on, she would have probably bring out the best in Raj, and it could lead to some interesting potential. But this one's a little bit of a sneak, so in the comment section below, please let me know whether or not you think this could have worked had she been a recurring character. But yeah, that's why she's number 5 on my list. 4th place is Isabella Maria Concepcion. a Cuban maintenance worker who was also played by Maria Canales Barrera, the same woman who played Teresa in The Big Bang Theory? I mean, was this a Waverly Place? Paulina Danny Phantom? Hawkgirl in Justice League? Huh, that explains why she's a one-off. That's a pretty damn impressive resume. In season 10, he met her, and her only qualm was that she works 2 jobs, and Raj was willing to help her out to make time. And despite her getting her culture wrong, and later revealing he was too embarrassed to be dating a janitor, classism be like, he apologizes and actually owns up by admitting his own flaws, and though she calls him out for accidentally stereotyping her, she does allow him to take her out for food, and it seemed to be going strong. The only problem is the next time we hear about her, she broke up with Raj, and we as the audience have no idea what the heck caused that. So they had good chemistry, was able to work through a obstacle in their relationship, and seemed to be into each other romantically without the use of sex. So yeah, felt like this would have been a good fit for his relationship. And I kind of want to know why we didn't find out about what happened to the relationship off screen. Though it's really probably because they didn't have enough time to pay the guest actor. This is going to be a recurring trend, especially when I talk about the first one. But guest actors, the reason why some people in shows don't end up in relationships for that long if they're like in the main ensemble and not like the main character is because when you make a show and it keeps going on, eventually it starts getting more popular, and then because of how popular it gets and the reruns that it gets syndicated, it ends up with a lot of money that you have to pay the actors to keep going to. So they don't have enough money to have someone join the main role. So either you have to use your guest character sparingly, or you have to keep paying more money for a recurring character. So if they're not in the main cast, the person who doesn't have a partner who's in the main cast is less likely to end up with someone long term. Not the main reason, and it kind of sucks how Raj was treated, but that's one of the reasons why we're talking about this. But I wanted to bring that up before we talk about the top 3. In third place is Claire. She and Raj had a weird dynamic where she was being honest about using him, but she always spoke her mind and was blunt, and she was willing to be honest with him. And given that there was some behind-the-scenes issues with the number 1 person, the fact that had she not existed, they could have worked together pretty well, and Raj really being the only idiot in a relationship means if he didn't screw up trying to be a 2-timer, he could have made it work, especially since she got along with the rest of the cast, but they only dated for like 1 episode when they clearly bounced off each other well. So it's a shame that they ended the way that they did. And their jobs and careers did actually bounce off each other, so even more of a shame, I guess. Oh well. Second place goes to Anu. Like, she did actually like Raj, even if she saw marriage as a convenience, and props to being a love interest that actually participates with the others. It's actually really cute, like, you know, seeing her dressed up as the Constitution, even though it was on the Bill of Rights when they were referring to. Heck, he even considered moving to England to be with her. Plus, you gotta give her props to doing a pseudo-proposal. She gets along with Raj's friends, and during their time to have sex, his mutism actually comes back. Now, a closed-minded person will call that off, but while she is initially skeptical, she ends up sharing her quirks with him, and it improves their compatibility. Yeah, they broke off their engagement, but they decided to restart by dating each other to learn more about each other more. It does feel like with more time, or at least if she's shown up in an earlier season, they could have improved their compatibility despite the differences, and she actually did put in the effort in a relationship, so despite all the arguments I can see against it, she kind of makes number 2 on this list. And in first place, to no one's surprise, is Emily Sweeney. Raj's most successful relationship and the one that lasted the longest. She's got a doctorate, she's got a fun personality, and humor involving horror, and it's not like they started off that bad. Okay, he had to apologize to her after their first encounter, but she appreciates her quirks, he appreciates her quirks. They watched movies together, they kissed, they spent the night together. They fake made up with Penny that one time when those two were angry at each other and thought they made up. She appreciates Raj's sensitive nature. They've went on double dates with Leonard and Penny. They have some issues, but they actually try to work through it. And their breakup was only because Raj decided to 2-time, and even then they hooked up afterwards. Plus, rumor has it Laura Spencer, Emily's actress, was cut because it was too expensive to have more main characters now that the show was making so much money. So she only showed up in cameo, so if that's true, the fact that the best and longest relationship Raj has only ended because of the behind-the-scenes issues says a lot. Well, they say money is the root of all evil, I guess. I guess that's also the first plague to romance, at least the ones affecting the romantic relationship on a syndicated program that's so popular and controversial. But hey, semantics. And also apologies because this really should have been done 2 months ago, but I'm lazy and stupid and lazy and stupid and lazy and stupid. And well, that's all that we have for today. Thank you for watching. You all let me know which character you think I should have mentioned. Hell, who would be your favorite and least favorite choices for Raj? Heck, go against the grain. Let me know if you think Raj would have been better if he was single, like the show had him be. And BIP Bizarre Interest Productions, signing off.